On a rare sizzling Sunday in Paris, quarter-final places are booked as dreams come true or are dashed. Welcome, everyone, to this evening's show.
Live on Facebook, YouTube, the official website and app. You are watching live at Roland-Garros. We have Daniela Hantuchova back with us in the studio, and it is just as well because we have all this to pack in to tonight's show. Straightforward and straight sets into the last 8 for two former champions.
And an instant classic is underway. It's ongoing, the battle of the one-handed backhands.
Well, two Grand Slam champions go toe-to-toe on Philippe Chatrier. What a day it is shaping up to be. As I mentioned at the top, we are very happy to have former world number 5, Daniela Hantuchova, back with us in the studio. We've enjoyed seeing what you've been getting up to in Paris, but are you happy to be back with us in the studio and happy to be back in Roland-Garros?
I am so happy to be back here, especially with the weather conditions like this. As a player, you can't ask for a better day to play tennis, even though it's been really swirly today, so not easy for a couple of hours during the day when it was super windy and the footwork needed to be spot on.
You mentioned the wind, but it's been really hot. How did you as a player prepare for a hot day, especially when it's unexpected? We're not in Melbourne or New York City.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you have to, the first thing you got to do is change the tension of your racket. You got to go tighter because the condition's going to be much faster, and drink actually more than what you used to the last few days. And yeah, just be able to bring your nice, cute dresses that were meant for this weather and just really enjoy it. And obviously, getting enough energy, getting enough food in, and just making sure that you're ready for the day.
Okay, well, we've had a lot of tennis today. Again, spots in week 2, the quarterfinals. That's what's at stake. And actually a live match going on. We teased it at the top of the show, but it's Stan Wawrinka and Stefanos Tsitsipas. And who else would be there other than Eli Weinstein? Eli, how's it going?
It's going amazing. It's going 4 hours and 50 minutes of play since this match has begun. I was just waking up, people, when they started this match. And Stefanos Tsitsipas had a break point seconds ago to go up 6-5 in the 5th. Took a diving leap at the volley, full horizontal dive, but ended up losing the point. And now, just now, Stan Wawrinka just served a double fault at deuce. So again, it's break point Tsitsipas as we speak. And Wawrinka is about to serve now. You might hear a huge roar because the crowd they just want to see amazing tennis. There's been so many winners. There are about 60 winners each in this match. That's 120 winners. And we don't have a break. It's back at deuce. But this is an amazing match. It is really hot out here. I've never seen this place so packed. It's amazing. This is the place to be. I'm going nowhere, people.
I just gotta say, I've missed Eli's whispering and just the change of tone all the time. Well done there.
Okay, well, we're going to have more Eli whispering to come and probably some yelling too because it's quite loud out there on court Suzanne Lenglen. Let's actually catch you up on how they got to that point. Eli mentioning 5-all in the 5th set, but the first 4 sets of Wawrinka and Tsitsipas took 4 hours, including this epic point, Daniela. We've seen some of the points of the tournament in this one.
Well, this is the point of the tournament right here, and I think it's the match of the tournament so far. I mean, what the guys have been able to produce today, and as I said, not easy because it is swirly, especially at the beginning of the match. And yeah, I mean, it's just, as a spectator, I would not want to be anywhere else than at those seats right now. And look at the last shot that Stan makes. It was just almost not really, he didn't really know what to do anymore because the rally was taking so long. But incredible effort, and it's one of those matches that you actually want both guys to win, and maybe there should be a tie or something, but obviously we don't have that in tennis, but both actually deserve to win this match.
And that's the thing, without a tiebreak in the final set, they've been out there for long enough. It could just keep on going.
Yeah, it can, and I think, you know, especially on clay, it's a good thing there is not a tiebreak because it just makes it more fair, because in a super tiebreak, everything happens so fast, and you know, when you are out there for 5 hours, you don't want something to be decided just suddenly. I mean, it's going to take them a long time to recover, whoever gets through this one, and probably it's going to be quite of a disadvantage for their next match. But the performance both of them are able to show us today is just why the people come and watch tennis here.
It's been unbelievable. We will be crossing back to Eli for any more major moments in that match that could continue long after we actually come off air this evening. There have, though, been some matches completed in the hot sunshine, hottest day of the tournament. And let's start with a man who adores these conditions. The 11-time champion, Rafa Nadal. He was taking on Juan Ignacio Londero, and he's through into his 13th Roland-Garros quarterfinal. That tops the list of the most, Daniela, quarterfinals reached at Roland-Garros.
Yeah, and he's just getting better and better with every single match, as we predicted. And especially today, I think Rafa was the player that was most looking forward to these kind of conditions when it's a little bit swirly, just because of that extra spin he's got on his shots. And the more windy it gets, the more tougher for his opponents. I'll tell you, if I had to play Rafa in a windy day, I don't think I would even bother to get on the court. So as we expected, he's just getting better and better.
It's a 38th Grand Slam quarterfinal for Rafa Nadal. And having dropped that set to David Goffer in the previous round, I think he'll have just been happy, despite loving these conditions, to get this done and dealt with in straight sets.
Yeah, exactly, especially since it's so hot. With these top guys, it's all about now saving energy, trying to get through the matches as quick as they can, do the media, do the cool down, and come back to their hotel room, put the feet up, and enjoy the rest of the day. And that's what he's been able to do.
I think that's what we forget, that they have so much to do after they come off court. We think, oh, right, that's the match done. He's into the quarterfinals. But there are hours of work that go into what happens post-match.
Exactly. So there is the media, obviously, the cool down before that, and light stretch, then the sponsor media things. Then they go back to the hotel and start with all the physio recoveries, massages, as we discussed. And today, on days like this, I'm sure a lot of the players will be taking the ice baths or the cryotherapy, because these are the days when you really want to have that done.
So Nadal is into his 38th Grand Slam quarterfinal. What about Roger Federer into his 54th? Imagine that, 54 Grand Slam quarterfinals, and Federer just not really tested today, taking on Leonardo Mayer and just dropping 7 games in a 1 hour and 41-minute effort. And for Federer, Daniela, 30 winners today, coming to net this tournament. He's not been hesitating in getting to net. He has wasted no energy into the quarterfinals.
Well, 30 winners in, again, those swirly conditions, that's not an easy thing to do, and pull off that kind of score. That just shows what kind of form Roger is playing here in. And I just gotta say, that smile when he enters the court, that's to me the most beautiful thing about Roger and this tournament, because it just shows how much he enjoys being back in Roland-Garros. And I think it was a good thing for him to be away for a few years, because he appreciates every single moment here even more so.
At 37 years old, he is the oldest man into the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam since 1991 at the U.S. Open, when Jimmy Connors did it. Let's go ahead and hear from Roger himself.
You know, I think when it's this kind of conditions, it's fast, it's swirly, especially the one side. You have a lot of wind in your back. It's like you're serving from a sort of a tree, from a mountain, you know. And from the other one, you feel like you're playing up the hill. So important. It's focused there, and I did that well today. So I'm very pleased with the game.
Someone else who got the job done in an efficient fashion was Johanna Konta, who becomes the first British woman since Joe Jury in 1983 to reach the quarterfinals at Roland-Garros. Before this year, Daniela, she had no wins at Roland-Garros. She's reached the final in Rome this year. What makes a difference? Why this year is it working for Johanna Konta?
I just feel like the relationship she's got with her new coach, Dimitri, who is such an experienced coach. He worked actually with Stan Wawrinka for many, many years, has helped her so much. She talks about it a lot, that it's a relationship where she feels like it's more a partnership, so she has her say, and I think that's very important for her, because she's a very, very smart girl and intelligent, and she feels like she needs to be heard, and I think that's why he's doing the smart thing, letting her be the one in charge, and you can just see how much this means to her today. And she's such a hardworking girl, and obviously we talked about how important it is to have all the matches be behind your belt coming into this tournament. Well, winning Rome obviously has helped her big time. I mean, not winning Rome, but playing a lot of matches there, just to be able to be confident in Roland-Garros as well.
Her first Grand Slam quarterfinal since Wimbledon 2017. Now, a name to remember. Marketa Vondrousova, she's 19 years of age. She took 59 minutes to dismiss the 12th seed for the loss of just 2 games. Through 4 rounds, Daniela, she has dropped just 21 games.
Look, it doesn't surprise me at all because she's got a very similar technique to Lucy Safarova, who just played her last Roland-Garros here, and she's been here obviously very successful as well, and she's got so much feel for the ball. It looks like, especially on that forehand side, she can pretty much do anything from anywhere on the court. She's done also really well in doubles in Australia, making it to the semis, and I think that can help her big time. Being in a big stage of a Grand Slam, doesn't matter if it's singles or doubles, so she's going to have that experience already behind her.
And she was very happy when she came into press.
I mean, you can expect you're going to play quarterfinals on Grand Slam, but I played some tough matches, and I'm just happy with my game, and I'm just, yeah, really happy.
So she's beaming, obviously, and so is Petra Martic, who at 28 years old has also been into her first Grand Slam quarterfinal, winning this one, a long one against Kaia Kanepi. What a job well done from Petra Martic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for this girl. She deserves every bit of it. I remember her first time she got on the tour, I played doubles with her, and I just felt like she had so much potential in her game, and it's nice to see her fulfilling all of that now.
Yeah, certainly. She was 0-4 in the 4th round in Grand Slams prior to this, finally into a major quarterfinal. And we spoke after the win to her coach, Sandra Zaneshka.
I just asked her, how does it feel to be a quarterfinalist finally? And she's like, well, it just feels peaceful. Like there is some weight that went off of me. And I said, well, that's great. So, you know, it doesn't feel like it's the end for her. It feels like it's just another step along the way. And I think, yeah, that's how she has to see it. And I think that the next match is definitely going to be exciting. I don't know really who's the pressure on, maybe a little bit on Petra since she beat her every time she played. But on the other hand, every single match of theirs always was really exciting. So I think it's going to be a nice entertainment.
So lots of tennis obviously going on today. 4th round, we're going to get more of that tomorrow into the quarterfinals. This is the business end of the tournament. There's so much going on off the court, on the court, and off the court. Let's go ahead and check out on what's going on in social media. Okay, well, first up, she lost yesterday, but whenever Serena Williams does anything, it makes a buzz. And Daniela, Serena saying on Instagram that there's always going to be another tomorrow. Here's to a multitude of tomorrows. What does tomorrow hold for Serena Williams?
I just hope more tournaments. Because I just feel like, you know, she's trying to do something really special here, reaching out at 24th Grand Slam. And for that, I feel like she needs a little bit more practice matches, because nothing's going to give you that feeling than when you're out there having to fight, having to figure out how to beat your opponents. Also gives her a little bit more of what the players play like these days, and she's got to go and play more tournaments to have that confidence that when she enters the Grand Slams and when she's really going after something that's, you know, it's almost never been done except one player in the history of our game, that's going to be so much pressure for her every single time she enters a Grand Slam. So I just feel like adding few more tournaments, just like Rafa, Roger and Novak do, would be a great thing for her. And like that, it would take a little bit more pressure away, especially at the early stages of the slam. Because with Serena, I feel like as soon as she gets close, she has a better chance, obviously, but we saw her how tight she still gets. So just, you know, getting out there and playing more tournaments, obviously the events, spectators, everyone would be happy. So that would be my only little suggestion.
And she did say she was open to possibly entering one of the lead-up tournaments to Wimbledon, so we shall have to wait and see. Now, in this hot weather, we talked about staying hydrated, maybe finding some shade, but what about sun cream? This is how you put on sun cream. This is Jan Hernick, the coach of Marketa Vondrousova. He probably didn't need it, because he's only out there for a short space of time, but Daniela, he was preparing to be ready for the sun for a long match, fully prepared.
Well, very professional, and I got to point out what happens in the next match, though, because talking about superstitious, she played really well today. So, is he going to? I don't know. That's I really wish to see what his routine will be for the next match.
Oh, too good. Well, finally, we've got cameras all over Roland-Garros, and in the hall yesterday after a major win for Katerina Siniakova. This is her giving a big hug to her dad after that win over Naomi Osaka, the world #1, what is that feeling like after a big win, especially when it's unexpected?
You know what? These are literally the moments why you become a professional athlete and why you work so hard and you give everything you've got in the practice and do all the traveling. These are literally the few minutes that count the most, and that's when you want to spend it with your closest people. And it's a time when you completely forget there are cameras around you where you are, and you just suddenly become the daughter that she's always been, and just super happy to be able to please her father.
We'll have more social media tomorrow. I'm a little bit worried about these two because I nearly fell off the chair before we came on air. These two had their phones on, so we shall wait and see, and hopefully that will never see the light of day. Let us get straight back to Susan Longland, where Wawrinka and Tsitsipas are going toe-to-toe, and they're watching, whispering, raising his voice, whispering again. Eli.
Well, I'm going to have to whisper now. Well, whisper, semi-whisper. 6-6, 40-15. Something interesting just happened. Wawrinka hit a first serve that caught the let and was called in. Tsitsipas was confident 100% that ball was out, showed a mark. The chair umpire showed a different mark. That was his. It's 7-6 now. He showed him another mark and called it in. Tsitsipas was not happy with the call, but did not argue 1 second. Just turned around, went back to the baseline, and stayed in focus. Now, that's a very smart, mature thing to do. Daniela's probably agreeing with me. You have to stay focused. You have to stay in the game and not let these things take you out.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Eli, there, especially with Stefano's reactions whenever he gets a bad call. I've been so impressed. For a young guy, you could see all kinds of things happening, and he seems to always show his point that he feels like the umpire was not right, but then he just moves on right away, and that's very impressive to do.
Yeah, especially after 5 hours and 4 minutes of play. This match is lasting and lasting. It would be in another Grand Slam, it might be over, right? 7-6? Not here. We're going to play it out. These people, this is what they came for. This is what they got.
So while that set continues and Eli will remain there, on Philippe Chatrier, things are going along very nicely for last year's finalist, Sloane Stephens. She's up against former champion here in Garbine Muguruza, but it is Sloane Stephens, as you're going to see here, that has the first set over the Spaniard.
Wow, Gigi, I'm really surprised with it because we saw the beginning of it and it looked like actually Garbine was in charge of it. So, yeah, it's a very close match, this one. And obviously both girls having the experience, doing well here and being later in the stages of the tournament. So I think we still got quite a long way to go in this one, though.
Okay, well, these are two of just 3 remaining Grand Slam champions in the women's draw, which leads us into our question of the day. Okay, so our daily question, will the women's winner be a first-time Grand Slam champ? Again, Muguruza, Sloane Stephens, Simona Halep. Those are the only women remaining who have a Grand Slam title already. And then you've got a whole bunch of other girls, up-and-comers, who are still in this tournament. Are we going to see a first-time champ here?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
I was really surprised with, well, we'll see what the crowd says. I just feel like in the Roland-Garros, you need the experience, and it helps so much being able to go through that emotion. You know what it feels like. To me, it's going to be one of those 3 girls. I would love to see one of the other ones to win it, and obviously it's going to be incredible and emotional for all of us to watch that. I don't know. I mean, that's just my gut feeling, but I might be completely wrong, and I hope for the other ones.
Because at this stage, we've got 13 players left in. 3, as we mentioned, have had that experience of going through and winning a Grand Slam title. We decided, before we get to that poll, I haven't seen the results, so as interested as Daniela to see which way that's gone. We went out and about to hear from some familiar voices and faces on this matter of, are we going to see a first-time major winner here at Roland-Garros?
I think it's really open this year, so everybody can win, but no, I think one of the previous champion will win again this year. I think Simona can win again, and I will put Muguruza like a big outsider, but she has a chance. Especially, she feels good. I saw her play the last match. She played really good, so she will be dangerous. And the speed of the court is starting to be faster, so it's good for her.
When we look at what's happened in the past, other than Naomi Osaka, obviously it's always been a different winner and a new winner. So I think this year's French Open, Roland-Garros, is even more filled with surprises with having the seeds being dropped out so early in the event. It's still very undecided, but yeah, we'll have a bit of suspense until the end.
Okay, can I put it to you? Who is your champion?
That is tough. That is really, really tough. I'll go with Muguruza.
And really don't know who's gonna win, who has the capability to win. So that's why it's a great tournament.
There's a real next gen in the women's coming up.
Yes, it's a real next gens coming up with different tennis, different mentality. It's always something new, you know, when someone coming up. Like for example, if you remember Ostapenko, who won, nobody was expecting that. The only thing is, I really hope that it will go on and keep it more and bring some more new players. But that's the new generation, so it's coming from the ladies.
Okay, so both sides of the argument there, right? You've got Muguruza, you've got Sloane, you've got Halep. Let's go ahead and see what the fans said. We had some 9,000 votes out there on social media, on our Twitter and on our Instagram. And Daniela, what do we got?
Let's see here. Ooh.
Look at that. 65%
Wow.
say yes, that maybe someone like Osaka or Yelena Ostapenko from the past, that they're going to win this year.
Yeah, well, they have a point, obviously, as well. But as you can see from the reactions there from former players as well, it's really tough to call this year.
You put it on your social media too, right?
I know, and it was pretty much the same thing, even more so. I think it was like 75% that they thought it was going to be a new champion this year. I don't know. I mean, as I said, I might be completely wrong, but I just have a gut feeling it might be one of the girls that already won a slam.
Okay, we'll wait and we'll see.
We certainly will have another question for you tomorrow. There has been a loud roar. I don't know what it means. So we're going to go back to Susan Longland. Eli should still be there. Eli, are we celebrating a win? Was it a saved match point? Was it? It's the end of the match, and Stan Wawrinka is the winner of this over 5-hour Daniela epic 8-6 in the fifth.
Wow. Did we say a dark horse at the beginning of the tournament that Stan was?
Some people,
I mean,
yes.
Talking about having the experience of winning this tournament, this is, I think, where it helped him big time. And what a match actually for both of the guys. As I said, these kind of matches, there should be a tie. It just, I mean, they both left everything they had in themselves on the court. And this is where the fans can enjoy the tennis at its best. Was that the match point we were just looking at?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, he thought maybe that was going to go wide. Well, yeah. What a day. I mean, beautiful weather, match of the tournament so far, so it just doesn't get any better than this.
You feel that the winner might be Roger Federer because his opponents just spent over 5 hours on court. Eli, you are still in position. What was that moment like when Stan Wawrinka won?
Well, time stopped for about 3 seconds. He's speaking behind me, you might hear it, but time stopped as his passing shot, sliced backhand passing shot, went right by Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas circled a mark showing it was out. Chair umpire Renaud Liechtenstein leaped off his chair and in 3 steps showed the mark that he saw, which was in, called it in. Tsitsipas again obviously did not agree, but didn't say a word, went up to the net. They got us a very, very nice hug there, very sportsmanlike. And then Tsitsipas raced off the court. He is extremely disappointed, obviously. And on the other hand, Stan Wawrinka is, I mean, no words to say how happy he is. The crowd definitely was for him, so the crowd is very happy. And it's not over, because guess what's happening now on this court? Benoit Paire against Kei Nishikori. So, wow, I mean, is there a place to be? Better place to be? I don't think so. This is crazy. This is amazing. It's late night in Roland-Garros, and this is what you love.
It certainly is. I just hope you haven't got any plans for this evening because you will be staying there for Benoit Paire against Kei Nishikori. Now, something every evening we hear from Camille Pain. She's looking at a different aspect of the game or something to do with the players. Something that we seem to be talking even a lot more than usual about this year at Roland-Garros are drop shots. And it's the focus of what Camille Pain has been looking at a minute with Camille.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm really happy to meet you again here in Roland-Garros. And today I want to talk to you about this huge weapon on clay, the drop shot. Why is that so efficient on clay? First, it's because the court is really slippery and players usually they don't like to run forward just straight ahead. They really like to run on the side. And secondly, the court is a little bit slower, so it's more efficient to try to make a drop shot. And I'm going to give you some tips to succeed in a great drop shot, first you have to push your opponent far away from the baseline, maybe 2 meters far away, so you can try to do a drop shot, not the best, but one very efficient. And secondly, you really have to get the same preparation with the racket as if you would do a topspin backhand or forehand, and in the last moment you can just slice it. I'll do it one for Nick. Some players still involved in this Roland-Garros are using a lot the drop shot. Who are they? Well, I've listed Fabio Fognini, the Italian guy who uses a lot the drop shot. But also the best for me is, well, he's French, it's Benoit Paire. Why? Because he can use it sometimes 4 or 5 times in a row, and he drives his opponent completely crazy. Well, on the women's draw, we could see Petra Martic, who's qualified for quarterfinal, uses it a lot with her backhand, and also Marketa Vondrousova, the young lefty Czech woman, using that on clay court, and it's very, very efficient. They're still in the draw. Well, guys, we'll see each other tomorrow for another topic, but don't forget to play a drop shot. It has to be an attacking point. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, the drop shot, it can be deadly. You have some emotions about the drop shot.
Well, I gotta say, to me, the drop shot, if there was one shot I was confident about, was the drop shot, and it saved me a lot of matches. I just felt really natural with that. It's one of the shots that you can't really teach. It's something you either have or not have. And if you don't have it, it's better not to use it. I mean, obviously you can work on it, but it's just, it helps the very natural players to have that shot without really even practicing. And I completely agree there with Camille. To me, Fabio has got the best one because of the reason how short he's able to drop it. And the reason why on clay it's so effective that the ball doesn't go forwards to the opponent. It just kind of stays there, especially when it's heavy and cold conditions. It works almost every single time, and I just love the players that have this kind of variety in their games, because it just makes it so much more fun to watch. And also agree with the girls' picks. I think Vondrousova and Petra Martic are probably the girls that got the best drop shot that are still in the draw.
Well, it's the perfect transition to a guy who knows how to hit plenty of drop shots himself. Actually, he knows how to hit every shot in the book, and he's the feature, he's the star of tonight's RG Confidential. From Indian Wells to Shanghai to Paris, wherever you go in the tennis world, there's one name fans always want to get a glimpse of. It's Gaël Monfils.
Monfils, ecstasy, extraordinaire, fantastique, heureux, happy. You want to see the guy jump, you want to see the guy fight, you want to see the guy, period. He's a little bit crazy, we like that. He's a little bit funny, we like that. He's going out with Vitolina, we like that. I mean, it's fun. It's showtime.
11 years after making the semifinals here, Monfils is back into the second week for the 8th time in his career and is yet to drop a set.
That felt good. I'm at home, so anything is possible. So I just gonna give a shot for this one.
It would be tough to write a book about him. He's a very complex guy, but a very nice one too. Yeah. I don't know one journalist that can explain in a few words who is Gaël Monfils.
Merci.
And while he next faces the heir apparent on red clay, Dominic Thiem, you never know what's going to come next with Monfils, and that's why we all just keep watching. We indeed all keep watching, and actually he's become even more of a star because he and his girlfriend, Alina Svitolina, Danny, they've shared a lot on their social media. Gem's life, here they are with a little kiss backstage, and gosh, wherever Gaël goes, he's a star.
Yeah, he is, and I just love their relationship. I think she's been so good for his game and for his life, because it helps so much when you have someone that you can share this exact same feelings and that understands you, that she's been through the same stuff emotionally. And it just helps big time. And also, she works extremely hard. She's very professional. I just feel like she brought a little bit of that to Gael's life. And he just seems to be more focused, more calm as well. And like we always said, Mirka, to me, is one of the biggest reasons as well why Roger is doing so well. And Elena, I think it's with them, it's the same case. And it just helps so much, just like Mirka, that Elena is coming from the same background.
Now, Daniela, you may have thought you were safe because Eli's been busy on Susan Longland, but he's got a photo with him. Always got a photo. Eli, what is it this evening?
Well, as long as it's not on that big screen behind you, I'm okay.
No, it's on the big screen and the other side of the camera. You can't see it. In fact, all the fans are looking up and waiting. Daniela, you think I was going to let you off so easy, especially after your long weekend? Explain this to us, Daniela. Come on, let's go. Explain this. Come on.
Oh, wow. Fun times, brave times.
Wow.
Yes, I don't know how it's called here in France. It was the Dancing with the Stars, obviously. So I can't actually believe that I got myself into it, and it was so much fun, so hard. I think that's from our first dance, which
Could you
was
dance before you did it?
Not a thing.
How did you do? We
Not
want to know
a
how you
thing.
did, though. Did you win?
How'd it go?
I went, I think, into the 4th round.
Okay.
That's good.
So, yeah, it was...
The second week?
Yeah.
It was so hard. It
Second
was,
week.
I mean, every morning I could not walk because of the high heels. But fun times. It was so cool. It was great to be home, and I had a great partner as well. So, and the people I got to meet, they were extremely fun. So, yeah, really enjoyed that. That was actually a good one. Thank you.
Okay, no
It's
problem.
actually a
My
good
pleasure.
one, Eli. Thank you, Eli.
You're very welcome. I'm going to sit out here in the shade a bit and cool off.
Okay, then get back into Susan Longland. We're going to let everyone know what's coming up tomorrow. We might even have the end of Benoit Paire, Kei Nishikori tomorrow. But as things stand, this is how we're looking. Kenin against Barty Kenin, who defeated Serena Williams. Djokovic against Struff. He's the only unseeded player, Struff, in the top half of the men's draw. Team against Monfils, that should be a lot of fun. And then Halep against Iga Swiatek from Poland, the teenager, who is sort of causing a little bit of a storm.
Yeah, she certainly is. And then you've got Siniakova following up that win over Osaka, taking on Keys. Fonini against Zverev, that'll be a fun one. Khachanov, Del Potro, and Anisimova against Bolsova, who we haven't even mentioned. The Spaniard has come out of nowhere. Do you have a match of the day tomorrow? What one player must you see?
I think I'm going with TM and Monfils. So it will be almost like playing mixed double because we've got Kiki Mladenovic on one side in the box and Elena Svitolina in the other one. So both guys and girls will be busy in that one. So yeah, I think just also because of the French crowd, it will be just incredible match to watch.
I feel like we're always picking the same match, so I'm just going to change it just for that. I think that's going to be a cracker. I'm going to go Fonini against Sasha Zverev.
Okay, and I was going Halep against Iga Swiatek,
So we're
the
back to
young
not agreeing.
Polish player. That's sort of
fine.
what we do around here. We're very thankful for all of you to join us tonight and for Daniela to be back with us here on Live at Roland-Garros. And can they watch us again tomorrow?
Yes, they can. 7 o'clock nightly, same time. We'll be running you through the action that's taken place. We'll be with Eli live somewhere if the action is still going on, and some other bits and pieces. I'm sure there'll be another Daniela photo. Don't know what it will be. I think we may have peaked with that one, but we'll have something else for you tomorrow. So don't forget, YouTube, Facebook, the official website or app, 7 o'clock nightly. We look forward to your company on Live at Roland-Garros.